always remember you. Okay, let's see if the sound's working.
Oh, little Jim.
It's working. All right. We are live. Hollywoke Hot Take Live. Oh, don't want to give everything away. Let's get off of that. Hollywoke Hot Take Live, where we do it live at 7 p.m. every Sunday, except sometimes during the summer where I get so busy, and October when I'm really busy. But it's a snowy night here in South Jersey. The Eagles game just got over, and I skidded all the way here just to do this show for you. So, what happened this week? Not a whole lot. I went to WildCon yesterday. That was pretty good. I got into a little tiff with the convention people. It was weird because I normally bring this cart, and it's pretty heavy, but I'm pretty responsible with it. And I brought the cart in so I could park in the closest parking lot so I wouldn't have to use the loading dock. Now, I have a lot of stuff for a creator, but not a lot of stuff for, say, a dealer. And no problem, came in, all is copacetic. But then on the way out, they decided to change all the rules and say, oh, you have to use the loading dock if you have a cart. And I was like, I'm not using a loading dock. I'm going to go out the front door. And they were like, well, you'll be financially responsible. And I'll go. And I went, no, I'm not. See, I didn't sign anything. And I didn't agree to that. Not that I'm going to smash your door. And I kind of understood where they were coming from, because it is a convention hall, and this is a problem with people who overload their carts and smash into the door going in or out. And mine was made out of metal, but I'm not a jerk, and I've been doing this for like over 30 years. And they had a handicap thing. You push the button, door swings open, you go right through, which is what I use to get out. But for some reason, I don't know, somebody at corporate, I guess, thought it would be a good idea. Oh, yeah, make them use the loading docks halfway through the show. I'm not doing that. Because if I had to use the loading docks on the way in, and you said, oh, you got to use the loading docks both ways, then I'd be like, oh, they changed the rules. You can't change the rules in the middle of the game. That's the rule. Arden is here. You kicking doors in, Tony? I am not. Been doing this for like over 30 years. I've never once smashed into the door with my cart. And one of my colleagues, I won't say who, I think he's a little older than me. Yeah, he's a fit guy and everything. But he had a much tinier cart made of plastic, and they made him go to the loading dock. And I was like, that's not right. JEC is here. Hi, hi, hi. Arden says, ah. So, yeah, that's about the only thing. It wasn't any big deal. Wasn't a big deal, but I tell you little stories about I had a good convention. I sold some books. Indie Phantom, YMCA, baby. Village People Live was awesome with Trump dancing live. I got to see that on the replay. My girl is not a Trump fan, so I have to watch that stuff on my own. Hollywood ambassadors in the house, says Indie Phantom. Cool. JC, is Trump's speech still going? Is he on now? I don't know. Let me check Breitbart. They always carry that kind of stuff live. This is, we'll get into this later. Watch Trump holds rally eve of inauguration. I was kind of against this, but I think this one was, they're not showing it live. Doesn't seem to be showing it live. So, be safe, Mr. President. Be very safe. JEC, is Trump's speech still going? I read that one. Indie Phantom, girl, not a Trump fan. A lot of girls aren't Trump fans. That's okay. You don't have to be a fan. That's acceptable. But Indie Phantom, he finished a huge rally about 30 minutes ago. Oh, okay. So he's done. He is done his rally, and good for him. I'll have to catch that. I'll catch the highlights. I wasn't going to do a live stream anyway, because it's too many people are doing live streams for that. So JC, I think the one stream is just running it on repeat. Indie Phantom, where the Capitals play. Oh, okay, in that stadium. Well, then maybe that was enclosed more, right? They have a roof on that one? Probably. Indie Phantom, Kid Rock did great. High energy. Ah, good for him. Still a little mad at him at that whole Bud Light thing. Kind of went back on that a little bit. I mean, I kind of understand he's a concert dude, and they're a big Bud Light. What concert haven't they sponsored? But boycotting Bud Light for me was no big deal. No big deal at all. Because I don't drink beer. I find it gross. Maybe the homemade beer. I've had a few of those, what do they call them, IPAs, at some of the local breweries here, and they're okay, I guess. I don't know. I still would rather have an iced tea. If there was a wave of iced tea stores in South Jersey, I'd be, oh man, I'd be so happy. All different flavors and kinds of teas and different things to put in the tea. Ooh, that'd be great. Indie Phantom, John Voight spoke. Trump mentioned Kid Rock shooting the Bud Light. Yeah, but he went back on that, right? Didn't he go back on that? I think he was, I don't know, serving it in his bar or something. But whatever. I mean, it's a small thing, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, these days, compared to some of the other entertainers and what they've done, holy crap. That is an extremely forgivable offense. Yeah, nothing much going on except it's just snowing like hell in South Jersey. And I'm going to have to go shoveling after this. But that's not your problem if you're not in South Jersey. And you people in Canada are probably laughing at me anyway, because I think we got a grand total. We might get like 3 inches total, but hey, it's icy. We don't like that in South Jersey. We'd rather have no ice and snow, thank you very much. Probably melt in 2 days, but still, it's not Christmas. I don't want to see this stuff. No. All right. Oh, and the other big news was I finished the first draft of Book 17 of the Pineys. So that was very exciting. That's all done. Don't have a lot of tweaks to do on it, I think. I'll be making another run on it probably in a few weeks, but I don't think there's going to be much to change. I might add one scene, but I don't know. Indie Phantom, so cheap to serve Bud Light now, like a quarter a can. Yeah, they've had to do that. Just to get people to go, oh man, I really want to support the boycott, but I could get loaded for like $1 or so. Indie Phantom, basically hobo beer. Yeah. And F. Mufasa, thing keeps earning. All right, well, let's get into that. Let's get into some box office. Oh, it's not number 1, though. It's up there. Number 1 is One of Them Days. If I'm remembering correctly, I think I was okay with this trailer. I think it looked okay. This is like a female Friday, or Fridays. What was that movie called? JEC? Pea Water. So, it's basically... I'm not surprised a movie like this did well, simply because it's a comedy. And as I've said many, many times, we desperately need more comedies in the theater. Desperate. Oh, God, do we need some comedies. If they just made a comedy a month this year, I think they would all do pretty well. Indie Phantom, don't even know what the F that movie is. It's exactly what I'm telling you. It's like, it's a female version of the Friday movie with Chris Tucker and Ice Cube. That movie was just like 2 dudes in the hood getting into trouble, and this is very similar to that. It's just except it's 2 women. So it's a comedy. Indie Phantom, Friday with chicks. Yes, exactly. Indie Phantom, blacks are still allowed to make comedy. Well, everybody's still allowed to make comedy. The question is, these people are so paranoid that, the Twitterati that don't even exist anymore, really, will come out and say, oh, that's terrible. I'm offended. That's mostly gone. It's been gone for a while. They just haven't gotten the memo. And now we have to wait until one of these comedies does well. This might be sort of start cracking the dam. I mean, they're going to look at it and go, well, it's January and, there's not a lot of movies out. Let's see what it cost. I mean, it made a 11.6 million. It's only got a production budget of 14 million. So this is probably money. Next week, it'll probably make like 9 million. Or not 9 million, probably make at least 5 million. So that'll be over production. I don't think they've spent a tremendous amount on promoting the damn thing. So I think this will easily get to 25 million. And then, the thing is, though, you can't just make one of these movies. You have to make like 10 of them. Indie Phantom. All I remember from Friday is the sexy MILF neighbor watering her lawn in booty shorts. Yeah, stuff like that's in the movie. Indie Phantom. Money in the house. Or money in the bank. Yes. Yeah, you make 10 of these movies. Spend like $100 million. And you bring in $200 million, basically. And this is how you bring in steady money. And because one of those 10 movies will do much higher than expected, and that'll bring in like 50 million. One or two of the movies might do lower than expected, but who cares? It only cost you $10 million. What do you lose? Like 3 or 4 million on it? That's nothing. It's a write-off. It's a rounding error for these studios. So you make 200 million at least, and that's money you can count on to keep making money. So the comedy division is, and basic movies like this, comedies, rom-coms, just, broad appeal things, you just make money and you spread out your risk over several projects as opposed to just one or two tent poles. JEC, I remember when Cat Williams, from Friday. I didn't remember him in that. It's been so long. I don't think I ever saw the whole movie. I've seen like clips of it over the years. And I think they made at least 2 sequels. But I wouldn't be surprised. That sounds like a movie he'd be in. So, this is Kiki Palmer, who I have no idea who she is. She just sort of came out of nowhere. I remember her in the Hello Fresh commercial. And SZA, whoever she is. She's been in a few things. I think she's a rapper, maybe. Storebang, she'll come around. Being a Trump fan, they all do. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't hold politics, against people, unless you're a communist, and then you're not human. JEC, maybe Cat Williams was just in the second Friday movie? I don't remember. I don't remember. But, this is steady money. People like comedies. I'd go see this. Why not? Or at the very least, I'd stream it. I'd probably stream it. These days, a movie like this is more of a streaming situation because back in the day, we'd say rental. These days, I'd stream that. LeMay is here. Hello, LeMay. But 11.6 million, not a bad start for a movie that only cost 14 million. And then Mufasa clocks in at 11.53 million in its 5th week. Zebek's Demise. Good evening, Tony and everyone. Good evening, Zebek. Wolfman at 10.55 million from Universal. This looks okay. I mean, it looks like a standard Wolfman movie. They went kind of back to the classic sort of Wolfman vibe. And that's fine. You could maybe build upon it. if you wanted to do the multi-franchise thing, you know, not the Tom Cruise thing, but something a little more low-key, B-movie related. JC, I wouldn't go see that movie in the theater. The audience would talk through it 100%. I think, look, when you're watching any comedy, a lot of people get boisterous, and I'm okay with that in a comedy, as long as they're just laughing mostly and they're not screaming at the theater or screaming at the screen. But I wouldn't go see it in the theaters just because the movie experience is so terrible and the movies are too expensive. I'd rather stream it. I'm not that interested in seeing it, and that's part of the reason they just don't make these movies anymore or distribute them. JEC, I hear Wolfman sucks. It looks like your standard Wolfman movie. I don't know how bad it could be. I mean, Ardent is here. Sorry, was just waking up from a nap earlier. I have coffee and awareness now. How is ya? I is ya fine. Zebix Demines. Wolfman's got nards. I don't want to see Wolfman nards. Who wants to see that? Nosferatu nards and now Wolfman nards? I don't want to see that. No one wants to see nudity. People like to see tasteful female nudity. No one wants to see nudity. Not even women want to see nudity. Yeah, it's unpleasant. Let's be honest. So yeah, I don't want to see that. Number 4, dropping from 3, Sonic the Hedgehog. In its 5th week, still doing pretty well. Surprised the Chinese box office didn't send this to the moon, but 419 million's pretty good. Oh, still don't have Chinese numbers? Seriously? That was a week ago. Where are the Chinese numbers, China? Are they holding the money? Are they holding the money and Sony doesn't want to report them until they get it? I don't blame you. Let the check clear. Zebix Demise, LOL, it's a Monster Squad quote. Oh, right. I sort of vaguely remember that now that you say it. And he punches him or something. Indie Phantom, yeah, wouldn't see a comedy in the cinemas now. Wolfman and Nosferatu have low-ass appeal. Well, Nosferatu kind of had a chance. I don't know. It's based on a classic movie. I thought they would make it super classy. Instead, it was gross, quite frankly. I didn't want to see a gross Nosferatu. I wanted to see something really, really classy. And I kind of felt like they just didn't meet up my expectations. Ardent at Zebek, you'll have to forgive Tony. 1983 was a long time ago. Yes, it was. It was over 40 years ago. I was saying that at the show yesterday. We were talking. They were playing the Ghostbusters theme because there's a Ghostbusters club, and guys in Ghostbusters outfit. And I'm like, you realize that movie is like 40 years old plus now. You're touting a 41-year-old movie. I mean, yeah, there's new movies out, but really, did you really make the club because of the new movies? I don't think you did. JEC, Nosferatu was gross Ratman plague thing. Yeah, I didn't like it. It's unpleasant. Dropping from 1 to 5 is Den of Thieves 2. I hear this is terrible. Dropping by 56%. Not really great legs. Kind of shaky. Ardent at JC. So Vampire the Masquerade Nosferatu? Kind of, but even worse than that. If you were making a Nosferatu in Vampire the Masquerade, you would be taking a lot of drawbacks. And you'd be making your character so disgusting. If you were playing them in a live-action role-playing game, I would stay away from you. So this Den of Thieves, I don't even know why they made a sequel to this, but I hear the first one's pretty good. It's just they can't stop making sequels. Dropping from 5 to 6, Moana 2. It sort of crushed the box office up and cracked $1 billion. There it is. Damn. Well, we're going to be seeing more of this crap. I have no interest in Moana, but the kids do. The kids love it. In its 8th week, and it's the number 6 movie in America. It's pretty good for a movie that's been out for 2 months. Number 7 is Nosferatu. This thing make its money back. It's in its 4th week. 155 million? That doesn't sound like money to me. I mean, it looks good. I gotta think this thing cost, what do you think, 100 million at least, I would say. I think they spent some money on this thing. I don't know, man. You release a Nosferatu movie on Christmas, you're just asking to lose money. If you released this on Halloween, I think people would have liked it more. I think they would have been psyched for it. They would have all gone out to see it. Christmas? No. What market are you trying to capture? The atheist goth? Storebang, Humphrey Bogart would have made a good Dracula. See, I'm going to suck your blood, see? Oh, wait, that's Edward G. Robinson now. Let's see. Listen, sweetheart. Me and the other coffin jockeys are going to drink your blood. There's nothing you could do about it. Now look into my eyes. I can do that voice because I used to play Vampire the Masquerade, and my character was a Humphrey Bogart ripoff called Vic Venture, Private Eye. And that's the way I would talk through the entire campaign. It was fun. Indie Phantom, cinemas are running dry. They certainly are. Ardent, formula, Hollywood doesn't know other way to make moolah. Thank you for that little song. JC, should have just called it Dracula if you were going to change the design. Well, that was sort of the whole point of the original movie. They were trying to do Dracula, but not do Dracula. Do like a public domain version of Dracula, I think, and then it became its own thing. But the interesting thing, in my view, about the original silent film was they had famous or semi-famous impressionist painters paint the sets, so they were really cool looking. They had cool cinematography in this, but I would have liked to have seen some homage to that. I don't recall seeing anything like that. Ardent at Storebang, LOL. Indie Phantom, let's not forget The Exorcist and Django Unchained arrived on Christmas. Yeah. I'll trust you on that. I don't remember Django Unchained at Christmas. That one's not too bad. I mean, it wasn't a Christmas movie, of course, but it was a pretty bloody movie. I don't know. It just seems so anti-Christmas to run a vampire movie. Storebang laughs. Ardent, LOL, my noticer character has the name Victor Vickers. Indie Phantom, Dracula sucks. Ha! JC, Bogart did B horror movies like Dr. X or something. Zevix to Minds, Dracula. Are you sure it doesn't bite? Ardent, is he dead and loving it, though? JC, Nosferatu, basically Dracula, but they did something different with the vampire design. Well, they did something different. I mean, the original Nosferatu was a really ghoulish one, and then this one is sort of like that combined with like a Turkish man. But let's see what Humphrey Bogart did, because the IMDb knows everything. Here he is. The man, the myth, the legend. All right, let's go back into his career, see where he started. The Dancing Town, Broadway's like that, Up the River, The Devil with Women, that might be it, Body and Soul, that kind of sounds like a horror movie, Bad Sister, Women of All Nations, A Holy Terror, Love Affair, Big City Blues, 3 on a Match, Midnight, 2 Against the World, The Petrified Forest, Bullets or Ballots, China Clipper, Isle of Fury, Black Legion, The Great O'Malley, Marked Woman, San Quentin, Kid Galahad, Dead End, Stand In, Swing Your Lady, Crime School, Men Are Such Fools, Racket Busters, The Amazing Dr. Clitterhouse. Let me say that one again. The Amazing Dr. Clitterhouse. What a name. Oh, and Edward G. Robertson. See, I'm going to make this formula, see? Yeah, I'm in the lab, see? See, I'm going to make this formula. Yeah, it's going to turn you into a bug. Yeah. Yeah, get Humphrey Bogart on the phone. I want him to see my formula. Yeah, see? It's curtains for you, Rocco. Curtains. I'm Dr. Clitterhouse. Yeah, see? Angels with Dirty Faces. There's a big one. I remember that one. I lost my spot. Ardent, LOL, the Maltese Vampire. Indie Phantom, Christmas movies have to arrive before Christmas because after people open gifts and scarf down turkey, it's over. Yeah, no, I agree with you, but it should be Christmas-like. It should be like a family movie. Zevek's Demise, a Turkish man like Hassan Piker? No, more, like an actual man. JC, the version of Nosferatu is more like the book version of Dracula. In the book, he had the stash. The big bushy one, though, it covers up his fangs. Ardent at Zevek, a vampire should not be afraid of Sam Hyde. Zevek's Demise, LOL. Indie Phantom, Clitter House? No, it says Clitter House, clearly. Zevek's Demise, I think everyone should be afraid of Sam Hyde. I do too. So, like, the rest of his movies are more the ones we sort of know that you would expect him to be in. More crime movies, Private Eyes, and African Queen, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't see Dr. X. I guess it was Dr. Clitterhouse. Yeah, see? LeMay, there are so many silly last names, and some last names seem normal until you learn its meaning. Yeah. It's so strange, right? Like, I don't know, if you have like a name like these days, if you have a name like Glasscock, like you probably want to change your last name. Like, I'm not big on changing my name, like, but if you have a name like Glasscock, you probably ought to think about something. Ardent, only in real life, surely. JC, 1939, The Return of Dr. X. It was there? Did I miss that? Let me see. 1939. 1939. King of the Underworld. The Oklahoma Kid. You Can Get Away with Murder. Dark Vic. Oh, there it is. The Return of Dr. X. All right. Yeah, I'm Dr. X. How you doing, kid? Dr. X here. Yeah, you're right. It does look like a B movie. But Edward G is not in that. They should have done Dr. X versus Dr. Clitterhouse. Hey, Clitterhouse, get out of my way. I don't care about your formula. I'm gonna splash this formula on you, see? You're gonna turn into a bug, and then you'll be up the creek without a paddle, see? I could finally make that movie in AI. I'll just punch it in, make the AI do it, and then I'll make you all watch it. I'm just kidding. So yeah, Nosferatu kind of dropping at this point. I think whatever novelty they had, whatever oomph was behind this thing kind of petered out. Ardent, they couldn't find Clitterhouse. Nice. Number 8, dropping from 6, A Complete Unknown in its 4th week. How did this thing do? It's probably going to get some kind of Oscar nod. 57 million. Can't tell. Not sure. It probably wouldn't cost $1 gazillion to make this thing. I think you can make it for under 50. Even with the period stuff. Zevek's Demise, Clitterhouse isn't real. JC, African Queen is my favorite Bogart movie. I haven't seen it in so long. And I don't know if I ever saw the whole thing. was the kind of movie that would show up on TV when I was a kid. Indie Phantom. Harrison Ford can barely get out of a car, and we're supposed to be scared of the Red Hulk. Yeah. Yeah, he shouldn't be in movies other than The Grandpa or something like that. But he's an actor. So, he's probably got a tremendous ego. He wants to still look like a younger guy. He's been playing. He's in his 80s. He should retire. He should do what Jack Nicholson did. Just like say, F it, I'm done. Go spend his money. Enjoy your money and your young wife. And I think he has kids. I don't know. Indie Phantom. Can't watch Chalamet. I mean, see him. I kind of hated that whole cannibal movie. I didn't see it, but it just looked, it just seemed so awful. They were trying to, I don't know, make cannibalism cool or something. Like, the message on that movie was just god awful. And he was in that, but I don't know. He's just a working actor. JC, maybe the real Clitter House was the friends we made along the way. Maybe the real Clitter House was the friends we made along the way. That's hilarious. Ardent, I remember watching a lot of the old Claudette Colbert movies on late night when I was in high school. Is she related to Stephen Colbert, I wonder? Storebang, who do you want for the Casablanca remake, Tony? Timothy Chalamet or Elliot Page? Well, I mean, Elliot Page would have to get it by woke standards. That would be a travesty of a travesty. I don't even think Hollywood's ready for that, but there'd be no reason to remake it. Mostly because you couldn't. You just couldn't. And nobody would relate to it. It's too old of a movie. Thankfully, nothing like that is in the pipeline. It has to be at least something viable, and I don't even think that's viable. JC, he probably needs the money. Red Hulk involves him standing around on a green screen. The rest is all CGI. Why does he need the money? You're telling me he needs the money. How? How could a guy with his net worth need the money? Now, this net worth, and I use celebrity net worth, is not going to be particularly accurate. But if it's anywhere close, $300 million, $300 million. If he's anywhere close to this, even if it's just 30, there's no way he needs the money. There's just no way. How could he be burning through tens of millions of dollars a year? I just can't see it. You can't eat that much. He's too old to go on a lot of trips. He's got a young wife. Like, what is he spending it on? What does he have? A Fabergé egg habit? Damn it, I screwed that joke up. And I stole it from The Simpsons anyway. Yeah, like, what the hell could he be buying? Oh, I'm addicted to buying real estate in the Napa Valley. Like, what? What does he need the money for? I'm sure he lives in 2 or 3 mansions. When you're 80, get rid of all of them except one and live in the mansion. Like, how hard is this? I don't get it. Oh boy, I lost my place again. Indie Phantom. He was in the gay flick with Armie Hammer, who taught him cannibal instincts. The gay flick. What was the gay flick? That wasn't the cannibal movie. Was that a different movie? Ardent. I don't think they're related. JC, Elliot Page would be more masculine. Ardent, I suspect Ford needs the money to pay off plane crash insurance. Yeah, like, why even fly? Again, like, I don't get people. I really don't. Like, if I had his money, there would just be no way I'd do anything. If I was in my 80s, I'd be like, I could be dead any day. I have to do a bunch of bucket list things. I guess the bucket list is, I need to make another $100 million. JC, he's married to Ally McBeal and owns a giant ranch. Yeah, like, if you love the ranch, stay on the ranch, dude. Indie Phantom, R.I.P. David Lynch. Yeah. A couple of days before I heard it, I was thinking how he will survive if he can't leave his home. I wonder if like the fire helped kill him. And I'm being totally serious because he had emphysema. So I gotta imagine if his breathing got, I mean, if he started breathing in ash or dust from the fires, maybe it finished him off. But that's a shame. I like David Lynch. And don't smoke, kids. Do not smoke. Zevic's demise. That Ardent beat me to it. Ardent, his wife definitely doesn't eat much. Yeah. Let's go out to eat again, honey. Storebang. Pamela Anderson's early 90s action film, Barbed Wire, was actually a Casablanca remake of sorts. Oh, God. Ardent at Storebang. It was, but my good God, that's a hard comparison to make. It really is. Indie Phantom, I have avoided the new Dune flicks. I know they would be great sleep aids. Storebang at Ardent, indeed. JC, I heard David Lynch lived right by the fires and had breathing trouble from smoking all his life. Yeah, that exactly it. Indie Phantom, he evacuated and then died. It was the smoke and air. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. You're teetering on the brink and you breathe all that smoke in. Sucks. Hollywood killed him. Gavin Newsom killed him. Indie Phantom, I do want to see The Last Showgirl with Pam. I hear it's not so great, but maybe. It feels like a streaming. Feels like a streamer. Number 9, dropping from 7, Wicked. This friggin' movie. Go out of the theaters. Go away. But I expect another at least 3 weeks of this. Ardent, all that plastic smoke. Indie Phantom, Lynch's last words were, "Fire walk with me." Too soon. Yes, too soon. Number 10 is Baby Girl, that awful-looking Nicole Kidman movie where she bangs an intern or something. 30 million. Sad as it is for me to report, this is another kind of movie you would just greenlight and shoot for $10 million. Get some hot chick and some hot guy, and they have some tour d'affaire. It's money in the bank. I mean, I wouldn't want to work on it, but if I ran a studio, I'd greenlight 3 or 4 of these a year at least. You have to. Okay, now, The Brutalist is number 11. Now, me and the girlfriend were planning on seeing this thing, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't find the damn movie in a local theater. I'm like, why the frig is this not playing everywhere? Everybody's talking about this movie. Why is it not playing everywhere? And then, and I may have checked this before, but as I was looking for the show times in my area, I saw the running time. It's 3 hours and 34 minutes, which now I recall talking about this at one point. Not sure if I talked about it on a live stream, but Jesus Christ. 3.5 hours, that's 2 movies. That's easily 2 movies. Too much. Too much for one movie. There's no way this movie's good at 3.5 hours. There's no way I'm watching it in the theater. What am I supposed to take off from work to watch this movie? I got a life to lead. I don't have time for this. This isn't a movie. It's a career. I don't need this. I just want to be entertained. I don't want to start a second job. What are you doing? 3.5 hours? You're nuts. And I bet you they show every friggin' commercial and trailer ahead of it, too. It's easily 4 hours. You add the travel time. Your day is done. Yeah, what did you do on Tuesday? Oh, I saw The Brutalist. And then what? Oh, no, that's all I had time for. I went right to bed after that. You're nuts. Storebang, The Last Showgirl movie looks a lot like The Last Showgirl movie. Yeah. Ardent, LOL, the black chick who played Elphaba in Wicked wants to play Storm in the next X-Men movie. Hell no. She looks like a total weirdo. She looks nothing like Storm. They would have to make her look more normal to look like Storm, and Storm looks weird, kind of weird to begin with. I say bring back Halle Berry again. She looks great still. I think she could totally do it. Give her the mohawk, though. Do the mohawk. Make her look a little different. Indie Phantom, new art house cinema in town, is licensed, playing the last showgirl and showgirls. Price for members is only $6. Interesting. But at 5.4 million, I don't think this movie could make its money back. I mean, a 3.5 hour movie? How much does this cost to make? $500 million? I mean, jeez. It's in 338 theaters. Yeah, it's not going to be in mainstream theaters. No way. No way. It's in its 5th week. Indie Phantom, she looks like an actual S-Storm. Yeah, she just looks all wrong for the part. If she looked normal, like a normal hot actress with hair, maybe? Ardent, LOL. Yeah, it's in 338 theaters. Like, there's just no way. This is totally a streaming movie. Zevek's Demise. Can Hollywood just get over its ugly phase and hire hot chicks again? And look at Ariana Grande. They uglied her up for the movie. I don't know how. Oh, you're playing Glinda? Let me go out and be anorexic. She doesn't look good either. She looks a little too skinny. But yeah, this Brutalist movie, I like movies. I like different movies, and the Brutalist looks a little different and interesting. But 3.5 hours, yeah, I'm definitely going to stream that movie. When you have that option, like back in the day, sure. Back in the 80s, me and my cinema buddies, we would have been like, oh, we're going to go see the Brutalist. Why? What's the big deal about that? Oh, it's 3.5 hours long. We're going to drive up to New York. We'll have dinner, and it'll be a great thing. Nobody does that anymore. JC, it's about architecture? Yeah, I'm not sure really what it's about. I think the premise is Adrian Brody escapes from the bad guys from Germany during the big war. Code. Annoying code, thanks YouTube. And then he comes to America, and then he's working in some company for Guy Pearce. And Guy Pearce somehow realizes his brilliance and takes him out of the coal mine or whatever to be an architect. And then he has this meteoric rise and becomes super famous, and everybody loves his stuff. But then Guy Pearce becomes jealous of him, and then they have a falling out. And so I think it's about immigrants, but legal immigrants. But I think we know what the heavy-handed metaphor will probably be. So, I don't know. I mean, somebody makes an epic 3.5 hour movie. I don't totally dismiss it. I mean, I'm still going to go see Megalopolis at some point when it hits streaming. Still trying to squeeze money out of people, if you can imagine. They should be paying people to see Megalopolis, from what I hear. But, yeah, for this, I mean, I may have to watch it over a few days. That's not a joke. I mean, that's a long-ass movie. That is 2 movies. Clearly, if you split that movie in half, that's, I think, about 107 minutes each. That's 2 movies. Movies should be 90 minutes around. Maybe 95, 100 tops. That's where they should be. JC, brutalism is an architecture movement. Think really ugly buildings. Oh, okay. So maybe that's why he is so great, quote unquote. They're going to promote terrible architecture. I hate the brutalist movement. It's a movement that never seems to end. As Paul Joseph Watson has pointed out in many of his videos, how ugly the buildings now are in Europe when they build new ones. They seem to tear down these quaint buildings to put up these giant boxes. They tend to do the same things here, although it's not as bad. Like in America, we have the similar problems of Europe, but never as bad because there's always too much going on here and too much money floating around. So yeah, we have that problem too. But then we also have crazy millionaires that just build weird things, and then people go, wow, what the hell's that? Oh, wow, that's cool. LeMay at JC. I don't like either. Okay. Grand Theft Hamlet. Why do I know this movie? Just opened. Grand Theft Hamlet. Why do I know this title? Oh, okay. Yeah, these guys made Hamlet using Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. And apparently it did so well, was so exciting, they got a theatrical release. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Probably hilarious. JC, you can watch Megalopolis twice during the runtime of The Brutalist. That's good to know, because I plan to suffer through Megalopolis, and it's good to know that if I have to suffer through The Brutalist, that at least when I suffer through the Megalopolis movie, I'll be like, oh, this isn't that bad. I don't know. Maybe The Brutalist is good, but I kind of doubt it. A movie that long, I don't think it can be good, quite frankly. I mean, the closest thing for a movie that long, Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet's almost 3 hours, and that movie friggin' moves. It was really good. Lord of the Rings is really good. I like Lord of the Rings. I don't think it's quite 3 hours, any of the sections, but, I mean, you stack them all together. LeMay, LOL. Indie Phantom, that looks like a DIY flick. Yeah, I think it is. I wouldn't mind seeing it, though. I like Hamlet. Homestead comes in at 13 from Angel Studios, still hanging around in 1,000 theaters in its 5th week. Seemed to do okay, but seems to really be part one of something. I think Angel Studios trying to do the franchise thing. I think that's a bad move. I think they should be looking for the next thing, not trying to ape the bigger movie theaters or studios. Gladiator 2, speaking of, probably a mistake, but I think it made money. Yeah, it made money. I don't think they should make another one, but they probably will. Normally, see, I don't know what happened, but there was a time when studios would make a bunch of sequels to a popular movie, but they would go direct to DVD. And that's where they would make their money, right? So they could do the same thing and just go direct to streaming. They can make Gladiator 3, 4, Gladiator, Son of Gladiator, Gladiator the Revenge. And you make them with a bunch of no-name actors for nothing, and then you throw them up on Netflix. Like, why wouldn't they do that? I guess they're not making the money directly? I don't know. JC, Megalopolis feels like it's twice as long as The Brutalist somehow. Indie Phantom, Megalopolis at least is sort of engaging. What the F? Hamlet was great, and I usually don't enjoy Shakespeare. Yeah, I cannot recommend enough the Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet. It's amazing how it moves. Like, I got it out of the theater, and I saw it in the theater, and I was like, why is it dark? Because we had gotten there in the afternoon in Philadelphia to see it, and we came out and it was like pitch black, and I'm like, what the hell? How long have we been in the theater? And I was like, holy crap, this movie was 3 hours almost. JC, Twin Towers and Return of the King felt long when I watched them. I don't know. I like them. Especially Return of the King, because you know it's ending, and that kind of, I don't know, that kind of amps you up. JC at Indie Phantom, no, it's not engaging. September 5th, otherwise known as the Other Munich movie. Oh, excuse me. 365K, Nickel Boys. This one's in the running for some Oscars too. 297K. Flow. People are raving about this for an animated movie. The Wild Robot. Putting it back in theaters for some reason. Indie Phantom, I lost the stream. Uh-oh. What's happening? Oh, looks like we're having problems. Oh, no. Oh, no. Am I off? Oh, did the stream die? It might be that the stream died. Shoot. Might be the weather. Hang on. Okay, let's see if the widget will help. Once again, the widget does nothing. Why do you ask to open the widget if it does nothing, YouTube? Indie Phantom K, it's back. Zevic's Demise was thinking it was just my crappy internet. Well, maybe the widget works. I don't know. Ardent, I haven't lost it yet. JC, Flow was apparently made by like 12 people. That's why it's getting some hype. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Better Man. Oh, they're panning this thing as a total flop. Zevic's Demise still going. Just get the wheel once in a while. The Substance. Put it back in theaters. At 18 weeks, this thing's still hanging around. Probably trying to push it for an Oscar. JC, it's kind of choppy, is still going. Ardent, getting some buffering here and there. Yeah, it's got to be the storm here. So I think they're probably trying to push an Oscar nom at least for Demi Moore. She was good in it. I don't know. I said Oscar worthy? Didn't feel like her range was really there. Didn't see much of a range of emotions there. But she was really solid in it. I mean, I'd root for her. I like Demi Moore. She's so friggin' hot. I mean, I just kind of can't not root for Demi Moore. Ardent, I had some similar internet issue earlier today. Might be all the TikTok bandwidth that's being freed up. Jay-Z, the animator who made Flow, has made several animated movies all by himself. Flow is the first time he's had help from other animators. I watched a video about it. Oh, interesting. Well, maybe I got to check it out. It's French, right? I think it's French. Sing Sing, still in theaters. Anora, still in theaters. See, I think this movie might be cool to see. I might go see this tomorrow. We kind of wanted to go see The Brutalist, and it's really nothing out, but I think Anora is still hanging around, so maybe we'll go see that. Hard Truths. I don't remember what this is. What is this one? Hard Truths. $383,000. Oh, it's not doing too well. Whatever it is. Conclave. It's in its 13th week. That's another one they're pushing for Oscars. I can't imagine why. Autumn in the Black Jaguar. What the heck is this? Oh, it looks like a kid's movie? Growing up in the Amazon rainforest gave Autumn the rarest of friendships. A lost jaguar cub discovers named Hope. Huh? When a tragic event forces Autumn to leave Hope for the unknowns of New York City, she dreams for years of going back to the rainforest and finding her friend. Sounds fine. Not for me. For kid, maybe. Ardent at Zevic's Demise. Fun fact, the buffering loading wheel is called a throbber, and yeah, we have a lot of wind up here. Would you rather G.I. Jane or striptease, Demi Moore? Striptease. Striptease. Craven the Hunter? Still in theaters for some reason. A Real Pain? This is another movie that's in the Oscar queue. I wouldn't mind going seeing that. Probably, it's really more of a streaming. Like, everything to me is a streamer. It's almost no movies I want to go into the theater for. All We Imagine Is Light. that foreign movie, whatever the hell it is, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, the Iranian movie, Vermiglia, soundtrack to a coup d'etat, I like the name, in its 12th week, and Dig XX. What is this? This just premiered in 3 theaters. Dig. Is this the Dig Dug movie? That'd be great. 20 years ago, Sundance was rocked by Dig, Andy Timoner's genre-topping rockumentary about 2 Gen X bands, their journeys to alt-rock glory. Shot over nearly a decade, Dig explores the collision of art and commerce through star-crossed friendships and bitter rivalry of dueling 90s bands, the Dandy Warhols and the Brian Jonestown Massacre. Through their loves, obsessions, gigs, arrests, and death threats, uppers and downers, and ultimately their shot at mainstream success, they stage a self-proclaimed revolution in the music industry. Maybe. So, not sure why it's called Dig XX. So is this like a re-release, maybe 20? JC, the Flow guy has a Slavic-sounding name. Some of the studios that helped him were French, though. Oh, okay, that must be when I got it. Ardent, just checked my weather radar site. The same storm is visible from the south of D.C. up to where I am in Newfoundland. There's also a big cell with lots of energy. Yeah, it's been snowing here pretty steadily for the last couple of hours. It also snowed on the Eagles when they played their game. LeMay, the spinning wheel of death, appears again. Oh no. No. See, I can't even see myself anymore on the stream. So, oh, don't worry, I'll open the widget, everybody. This will solve everything. No, it's not getting an error. So, check the analytics. See, this is, I don't know. I don't know what any of this is. Viewer activity, no super chats yet. Like, they give you all this info, but what the hell does it mean? And what, I can't use it for anything, YouTube, so it's kind of useless. I don't know why you bother. Give me something to click when my stream goes down. Oh, excuse me. I ate a bunch of food at the game. So really the only reason I go to the football game is to eat everybody's food. It's delicious, though. Oh, man, we had some good food tonight. $75 million for the box office this week. Not great, but it is January, so what are you going to do? Late January, mid-January? You're lucky it's not 5. Hollywood. Nothing here. Nothing really here. Indie Phantom confirms, yeah, same for me, LeMay. Well, hopefully it'll come back soon. Let's just give it a couple of minutes. In the meantime, let's check in with Variety. Indie Phantom Dig Dug movie. Yeah, they should make I love Dig Dug. I loved all the video games from that era. Boy, they had a lot of good ones. Time Pilot. Remember that one? That one's great. Oh, God, that was my era of video games. Dig Dug and Time Pilot, man. Indie Phantom, that's a deep cut now. I know. Oh, it's probably online somewhere. I could play it all day. I used to play that. I used to love Berserk. That's a little older. That's like 82, 81. There's a really obscure game, and it was only in a few places. Arcade. This is our arcade lore. It was called Venture. I don't know if any of you remember it, but all it was this happy face running around a dungeon maze. It was really basic graphics, and I think you had like a crossbow and you could shoot like an arrow. But it was nearly impossible to win at this game, but I would love to play it. Ardent, for sure, I remember playing Dig Dug in an arcade. Oh, wow. LeMay, is it true that even nice movie theaters have a rat problem? Does your theaters have footrest? My theater used to have footrest when they had the regular chairs. Since they've switched to the easy chairs in my local theaters, not so much. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was a rat problem. I'd just be surprised if the rats came when people were actually in the theater. That's never happened to me before. And now that you've said it, you've created a deep fear in me that is going to happen next time. Because that makes total sense that rats would, because there's always food on the damn floor. These places are disgusting. They hire the most poorly paid people in the world to clean them. And I know I know my friends used to work at movie theaters, and if I worked in a movie theater and I was like, I don't know, 20, I would barely care if there was still popcorn on the floor. I would barely care. My biggest concern would be, what could I do to do the least amount of work? And yeah, if it was to run up and down the aisles and pretend I swept and not actually sweep anything, I'd be fine with that. So, no, my theaters, to my knowledge, my theaters didn't have a rat problem, but I forget what part of the country. I think you live in Georgia, if I'm remembering correctly, LeMay. Georgia might have a rat problem. I mean, here in New Jersey, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a rat problem. That just, maybe all the rats here are just so fat and dumpy and full of food, they just wait until the theaters close to come out and eat, and then they all have heart attacks and die because of all the butter and salt they're eating. I don't know. That would be kind of funny. The health of your rats is terrible, sir. You're going to have to get better popcorn in here. Let's see. Oh, Dave Chappelle's SNL monologue wishes Trump good luck, jokes about the LA fires, and says he's tired of being controversial. I saw some of this. It was good. He always does a good monologue. Jake Gyllenhaal warned Josh Gad the Book of Mormon was way too controversial after hearing the music. You cannot do whatever this is. How wrong were you, Jake Gyllenhaal? Frasier revival not moving forward. CBS Studios shopping for new home after 2 seasons on Paramount Plus. Okay. Cameron Diaz says she's open for a Mask sequel as long as Jim Carrey's on board. I've been riding those coattails from day one. Well, I don't know. Cameron Diaz still looks pretty good, but can you really do a Mask sequel with her? I guess you could. It won't be the same. I mean, Cameron Diaz and The Mask, wow, what a smoke show. TikTok shuts down in U.S. What happens next? It comes right back because Trump's gave it a 90-day reprieve or whatever. I think we should shut down TikTok. That's just me. Whereas I am a little worried that the legal repercussions of shutting down a place, I think you can make a strong argument that this is a national security thing. Because it seems to be straight up Chinese propaganda. But, insane enough, there's a new app called Red Note that's even more communist than TikTok. And that one is like blatantly communist. Like the TikTok one is sort of communist. You know, they have a bunch of transgender stuff, and the story I heard was the algorithm pushes young impressionable teens to bad things like self-deletion and a few other things. And that's bad. That's bad, but you could see that they're kind of trying to hide it on TikTok. Like it's not blatant communist. Like Red Note appears to be blatant communist propaganda. Like China good, come to China because we do all these great things that you're not doing and your country should be doing. Like really blatant Chinese propaganda. And if you're on either one of them, you should immediately stop watching my stream and remove them from your phone and never put them back. Because I heard that, and again, I don't have any proof. This is just things I hear. I've heard that TikTok has a tremendous amount of bots. So if you think you have 10,000 followers, you don't really. You have like who knows how many. And then you have a lot of bots following you, trying to encourage you to waste a lot of time on TikTok. Now, that being said, some people make money on TikTok, so maybe that kind of cancels out for you. But still, like, there's plenty of other platforms. So, Storebang, I liked Zookeeper. It was on the Cape May Lewes ferry. I like Zookeeper. I have no idea what you're talking about. It was on the Cape May Lewes ferry. I know the ferry. Do you mean the movie? Zookeeper? Was there a movie called Zookeeper? JC, all the popcorn on the floor attract mice. Well, I would assume, but like I've never been in a theater and said, oh my God, something ran across my foot. You know what I mean? Inside the nightmare production of the indie film about Beatles manager Brian Epstein. Those are always interesting to me. I don't like making ofs, but I like making of films about movies that had really tough times. That's why I love Hearts of Darkness, I think it's called, the making of Apocalypse Now. Amelia Perez leads with 4 wins. Of what? I don't know. I assume, are those Golden Globes or whatever? Amelia Perez is such an insane movie. It's a musical about a cartel drug boss who is transgender and then sings about her sex change operation in one scene. It looks completely insane. Let's see. Rami Malek says he was thrown onto the hood of a cop car in a racial profiling incident. I may well be going to jail for something I've not done. Huh? Racial profiling of what? I don't understand. Rami Malek looks like kind of like an alien. Did they say, all right, get your hands on the hood there, E.T.? I'm gonna check you for laser weapons. I don't know. What the heck is he talking about? Nelly addresses criticism of performance at Trump inauguration ball. Already? Didn't this just happen? I'm doing this because it's an honor. Okay. I'm shocked Nelly was invited. Didn't he have problems like way back when with the law? I'm surprised a guy like him would get invited. But then again, Snoop Dogg is in one of the events, not the main one, but like I think it was called the crypto event or something like that. He had problems with the law too. All right, let's move on. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Let me just pop over and see how the stream is doing. Kind of okay. I guess it's kind of doing okay. Let me open the widget again. That'll help. Yeah, it's not really helping. All right. Here we are at Fandom Pulse. Kingdom Come. Deliverance 2 creative director confirms homosexual scene in game. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, everybody. A gay scene in a video game. Can't wait. Like, who wants this? Who wants this? What gay scene do you need in a video game? Really? X. Like, what are we doing here? It's bizarre. And look at the character who's in the gay scene. He's like a knight on a horse. Yeah, we got to stop for the gay scene, everybody. You know, the gay fantasy scene you all wanted. LeMay, yes, my local mall has a rat problem. We don't have footrest. A coworker from your neck of the woods brought this issue up. She refuses to go in any theater without a footrest. Well, that's a new nightmare for me. Thanks for that, LeMay. I'll be thinking of that when I'm at the next movie I go to. And I bring, like, I don't know, a bucket to put my feet on. Sir, you can't bring that bucket in. Do you have footrest? No. Well, I'm bringing the bucket in, so leave me alone. Warhammer owner Games Workshop attempts to shut down John Delarosa's Space Marine comic. Seems stupid. Like, Space Marine seems so generic. It seems... I mean, I realize that's what Warhammer sort of based their whole deal on, but... I don't know, did they invent Space Marines? I don't think they did. Dragon Age, the Veilguard game director, confirms exit from BioWare. Okay. So, there's that. Stone and Sky indie epic fantasy blows away Brandon Sanderson and George R.R. Martin. This just seems like JDA is finding other authors to promote to his fan base, but, I mean, that's fine. LeMay, the Chinese Red Note, Little Red Book, are already sick of Westerners ruining their site. Good? I don't know if that's good or bad. Seven tabletop game professionals who pushed Dungeons and Dragons to the woke mind virus. JC, kids on the Red Note don't realize only Chinese people on Red Note are rich people who live in major cities, so they're getting a distorted view of the place. Yeah, they're insane. All right, so... yeah, I don't even care about these people. Look, Dungeons and Dragons, the genie's already out of the bottle. You don't need to buy a single book to play Dungeons and Dragons. You just need to know the system. And you could download the system from a variety of places. And so you don't really need to buy current Dungeons and Dragons, and you probably shouldn't. And you don't need to buy the old stuff either. You can probably download it from someplace for next to nothing. JC, there was a comic about Brian Epstein that came out a few years back. It's really good. He was a nut, that Brian Epstein. Over at the Hollywood Reporter, Outlander stars Catriona Balfe and Sam Heughan on the shock of that cliffhanger finale. We had no idea ourselves. A bunch of people rave about this show. I've never seen an episode. LeMay, they need to go on Billy to see the real China. What's Billy? Is that like a hillbilly version of Chinese people? JC, Amelia Perez clips look terrible, laughably bad, but people who have seen it say it's boring and stupid. Let's see. Hollywood reacts as hostage release starts under Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal. Let the healing begin. Well, I don't think you're going to get much healing in the short term, but it's good to I thought these guys were all dead. I mean, wow. That any of them are still alive is amazing to me. Let's see. God, it's hot in here. JC, Snoop Dogg was charged with murder in the 90s. Yeah. I knew he was charged with something. I think he was acquitted, though, right? I mean, obviously, he's walking around. LA realtors to the rescue? I'm a public servant now? Yeah, I wouldn't count on realtors to be public servants. Ardent, I think we're good now. Oh, good. Let's see. The Hunting Party's Review is a new show on NBC. NBC's serial killer procedural is a deadly bore. This is the Hollywood Reporter reporting this. Ardent, LOL, until I noticed I was at least 5 minutes behind. Oh. Well, I'll try to talk slow to see if you guys catch up. Oh, Ardent, caught up now. There you go. 3 Israeli hostages arrive in Israel as fragile ceasefire passes first hurdle. That's good. Snoop Dogg blasted for performing at Crypto Ball ahead of Donald Trump inauguration. I don't know why you would blast him. Snoop Dogg has literally done everything, in my opinion, for money. Like literally as long as there's money in it, I think Snoop Dogg is there. You need me to endorse cookies? Sure. What kind of cookies? I don't care. The check clear? All right, we're good. I love these cookies. Like he has endorsed literally everything. He's on like packaging with Martha Stewart. I forget the product. So you're gonna blast him for performing at Trump? What do you think he performed for free? Dave Chappelle asked Trump to have empathy for displaced people, whether they're in the Palisades or Palestine, in SNL monologue. JC, I'll take complete BS for 400, Alex. Public servant comment. Yeah, exactly. Ardent, stoop. Southern California Fire Fund auctioning off lunch with Julia Roberts and only murders in the building set visit to support relief efforts. How much to have lunch without Julia Roberts would be my response. Oh wait, I could do that for free. Donald Trump says he will probably travel to LA after inauguration to view wildfire aftermath. Is it finally out? Did they finally put this fire out? God. New Anaconda movie ensnares Fawandi Newton, Steve Zahn. That movie does not look good already. Looks like it's going to be like a half-ass kind of comedy with Jack Black and Paul Rudd, but not a total comedy, and it just looks stupid. Let's see. All right. Getting into Bounding in the Comics. The Sandman creator Neil Gaiman breaks silence after 4 more women accuse him of sexual assault. I don't accept there was any abuse. It looks pretty bad, I gotta say. JC, they got it under control last Monday or so, at least to where it wasn't burning down the city anymore. Oh, good. But this whole Neil Gaiman thing, just very sad. You know, at first I thought, could this really be true? But, I mean, I didn't know him personally, but I interviewed him once, but for what information that was worth. Obviously nothing, because what do I know? But still, though, you just think, this guy's so friggin' famous. When they accuse guys like this, I just think to myself, these guys are so friggin' famous. Why do they need to do this? Like, they literally could just go out the door in a public building and probably snag some chick, depending. Now, he's not a rock star, he's an author, so it's a little different, but it sort of applies. Like, if he went into a bookstore, there'd be people all over him, like, oh my God, Neil Gaiman. But apparently he's maybe just that lazy and horrible. I don't know. It sounds really, really bad. And that's all I could say because I don't know any proof. Maybe they're all lying. He is super rich, I assume, but if Harrison Ford needs money, maybe he's not. I don't know. But I don't know. When it's your nanny, that just sounds like, I mean, it's like when Arnold Schwarzenegger banged his nanny. It's like, dude, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You're Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, that wasn't an assault. It was just, again, stupidity. It's just like, dude, you're that horny? Or apparently maybe drunk? I don't know. I don't know. These guys just, they can't get enough. JC, Gaiman apparently made a girl puke and then made her eat it back up off his couch. From the report I read on the Vulture, I wouldn't be surprised. And it did sound like an article that was well researched. Like, it didn't sound like a hit piece. But again, who knows? Alex Ogle is here. Every evening, bigots. Movie pitch. Inauguration Day. Sydney Sweeney in a bikini plays a fortune teller whose predictions are laughably inaccurate. Still, she clings to one prediction of the great Orange King coming. Through a series of setbacks, she ages the Trump campaign and victory and attains the role of augur-in-chief, where she can only accurately read signs in a wet t-shirt. Unfortunately, she predicts the Italians will start to enjoy deep dish American pizza with stuffed crust and pineapple on the top. She insists belong there. No, it does not. No, it does not, Alex. Nice try. Nice try. I don't want to see that screenplay at all. Alex Ogle, plenty of pausing on the video stream for some reason. Yeah, we're having issues. It's a big storm here, big snowstorm. Oh, this also dropped this week, but it's probably stuff I've already talked about. Seth Rollins, who's in the WWE, was cut completely from Captain America Brave New World. He was going to be one of the Serpent Society, and they cut the entire Serpent Society from the movie. And there were like 7 people in it as the Serpent Society, and they cut them all and reshot everything. So he doesn't even know if his NDA applies anymore, but he did some podcasts talking about it. So the new villain's going to be Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad, and I think one other person maybe. And I guess sort of Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk, who eventually becomes a good guy. Sam Rogers is here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Sam. Let's see. We're at deadline. Why is it so friggin' hot in here? God. Whew. I turned up the heat, so that's probably mostly the reason, but I only turned it up 2 degrees because my back room is like freezing. And I don't want it to freeze. Here's Trump. Veteran ABC News correspondent Elizabeth Neeson dies at 71. Kat Dennings fondly remembers Raising Dad co-star Bob Saget. Very protective of me. Well, that's nice. Ki Hu Kwan wants to play a bad guy next, like a Bond villain. I don't want to see Short Round as a bad guy. Indies pull their weight as Nosferatu reigns. The substance ramps back up. The Brutalist builds on IMAX specialty box office. Okay. Let's see. More on the box office. Keegan-Michael Key teases 2 bucket list projects in development. I wish him and Jordan Peele would get back together and do a whole sketch movie. Like, that's all they had to do. Like, instead of doing Keanu, which basically bombed, I didn't see it. They should just do a sketch movie. Like a Kentucky Fried movie. It'd be great, I think. Sam Rogers, is it just my internet or is something wrong? Having problems tonight, Sam, with the feed. Sorry. You might have to watch it later. I don't know how bad it is. It's been in and out. There's a big storm here, so I'm not sure what the deal is. Zevik Samines, some is wrong, Sam. Sam Rogers, big snowstorm. Yeah. Sorry. You can catch it on the replay, perhaps. Over at Bleeding Fool. Russo brothers say they stumbled upon a new idea to return to the MCU I thought that was a done deal. They're coming back for Doomsday. Or is that an old... Maybe that's an old headline. Oh, yeah, this was this week. Diamond Distributors is going bankrupt. They filed for bankruptcy. Now, I don't want to get too deep in this because it's probably boring to anyone who doesn't really get into comics, but Diamond Comic Distributors distributes comics to comic book stores. Rick Sanchez is here. Shalom and good evening, everyone. I read someone mentioned Elliot Page. I wanted to tack on that I think they would make an amazing replacement for the Flash. Anyone else? I said, look, the reason I said that was they could outstrip Ezra's wokeness, and then he couldn't complain about it. It was the only way to fix the movie. It wouldn't have helped, looking back on it. I mean, I still say it looks like a bad movie and a bad idea. I wouldn't have greenlit it, but you probably would have made more money. I'm just saying. Sam Rogers, I've never seen snow, but if it ruins the internet, I don't want to see it. It's bad. I hate snow, Sam. You only want to see it at Christmas. Zebek's Demise. Snow is great when you are G or you don't have to go anywhere. So, Diamond Comic Distributors distributes the comics to comic book stores. It's called the direct market. So the comic book stores, for instance, if you have a $4 comic, like the price is $4 on the cover, you sell it to Diamond from the printer for $1, right? Then they turn around and sell it to the stores for $2. So they're a middleman. And then the stores sell it to you for $4. And that's kind of how it works. I'm simplifying the numbers, but that's basically how it works. Diamond was one of several distributors back in the 90s when comic books were doing pretty well. And then DC Comics made a move that they were thinking about purchasing Diamond. And in a panic, they started to... the comic book companies decided to get exclusive deals with some of the distributors, including Diamond, mostly Diamond. Now, one of those comic book companies was Marvel, but rather than get an exclusive deal with Diamond, the first thing they did was, I think they made a counter offer to buy Diamond, and then they turned around and bought this other distributor that had previously only distributed comics in New Jersey. And they bought it and said, well, now you have to come through this distributor to get your Marvel comics. And then DC didn't buy Diamond for some reason. Probably would have been a good move, looking back on it. But everybody jumped in on an exclusive deal to only be distributed by Diamond. All the other distributors went out of business literally overnight. And it was just Diamond and this Marvel distributor. And then the Marvel distributor couldn't handle the volume that Marvel had, and they eventually came back to Diamond. Now, Diamond, essentially the only distributor of comic books, is having problems because no one's buying comics. JC, I think it's just YouTube. I'm getting a 404 notice clicking around. Zebek's Demise could be at JEC. Rick Sanchez. Can you read my comments, Tony? Above, yes, I read your comments. Shalom and good evening. I read someone mentioned Elliot Page. I wanted to tack on. I think that they would make an interesting replacement for the Flash. Anyone else? Yes. Yes. I addressed that, but maybe you missed it because we're having so many problems with the stream tonight. You're very funny. You're very funny. But again, I didn't think it would make it a good movie. I just thought you could save the money and get rid of Ezra. Rick Sanchez. Do you not remember me? Of course I remember you, Rick Sanchez. You run around with your grandson to various dimensions. So, yeah. Oh, here, free comic book day. Diamond's bankruptcy could collapse the direct market of comic book distribution, and I don't know how the comic book companies would get it to the stores. Other than, I think DC now is going through Penguin or something, that they'll all have to ship their own comics now, which would pretty much kill it for indie comics. Indie comics would completely back out of the comic book store market because they wouldn't be able to afford to ship to individual stores anymore. That would be insane. But it might mean the return of some alternate distribution companies. I think there are probably a handful of ones that still exist for indie comics. Maybe one of them would emerge to be a national company to distribute indie comics to comic book stores. I don't know. I haven't been in the loop on this issue for a while, but it's not a good thing if Diamond goes out. I would like to see somebody buy it and run it correctly, but the part of the reason it's not run correctly, I think, is because it has no competition, functionally speaking, in my view. All right, moving on to the wrap. TikTok is restoring service in the U.S. following Sunday's ban. So those of you worried that you haven't gotten your Chinese propaganda, sit tight. You'll be propagandized soon again. The rest of you, stay off of TikTok. The Brutalist editor admits film used AI to make a key part of Adrian Brody's performance more believable. I don't have a problem with that if it looks realistic and I don't even notice it. Why not? Rick Caruso. Rips LA fired preparedness on real time. What's predictable is preventable. Yeah, he ran against Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, and he lost, of course, because he's a Republican. And apparently everybody in Southern California is in a suicide pact with the Democrats, is the only thing I can think of at this point to keep voting for someone who appears to be a Marxist, who's more interested in making sure there are more lesbian firefighters than firefighters who can put out fires, or fire hydrants that work, or a city reservoir that has water in it to put out fires, or having a governor that does something other than check his hair every 10 seconds in the mirror. But you do you, California. Oh, wait, you already did. And look where that got you. I feel bad for the people of California. But, I mean, have they finally learned a lesson? We'll see. I kind of think they're in real trouble because the Democrats have been in control for so long. I think the next election, they probably will win again because they're just cheating. They're just straight up own like the entire election system, and then they're going to have to take additional steps to sue them and investigate them in order to undo that before they actually get anyone other than a Democrat. But the good news is, at the end of all this, I think the Democrats are done in California eventually. Eventually, because you got to figure if someone doesn't come in and beat the Democrats in the next couple of elections, something's very wrong with the election system in California. But we'll see. Rick Caruso is probably going to run again. He seems to be young enough to do so. And I believe he owns the Palisades Mall and put out his own fire, or called in private guys to make sure the place didn't burn down. So that was interesting. A lot of private firefighting going on in LA, which is very interesting because, you know, it's so bad in LA that they had to do that. And this goes back to Roman times. The Romans actually invented the idea of private fire departments. But what they really turned out to be were guys who would show up to your house as it was burning, bid, you know, pressure you into some sort of fire insurance or whatever. Then your house would probably end up burning down anyway. And then they would try to buy the real estate from you. The same guys. I forget which famous Roman either invented it or had it, but they had this It wasn't a fire hose, but what it was this giant, like almost like a syringe with water in it, and then they would run up to the fire and like spray it on the fire. You would like push it like a giant syringe, so it would come out the end. And then the Romans would sell you on the idea, well, if your house is on fire, we'll just come and we'll squirt the water on it and it'll be out. But of course, it depended on how bad the fire was, whether or not that would work. Obviously, if it was small enough for that, you could probably put it out yourself. And if it wasn't, then screw it, you were done. So I don't know if private, maybe they can work. I mean, this has been a discussion in libertarian circles for a long time. Can we privatize the fire department, the garbage people, the police? I don't know if we can privatize it all, but it's something, it's interesting to speculate on it. I think we could. There would have to be some sort of standard and, some kind of balance in that it could easily turn into a real estate scam where the private company just doesn't show up and let your house burn to the ground so they can buy up the real estate, or so another company can, which is part of what I think is happening in Maui and LA. JC, Diamond broke the exclusive deals when they shut down the lockdowns and they lost Marvel and DC and Image. All they have is a handful of indie companies. Oh, I've been out of the loop for a while. So no wonder they're going out of business. They have become what they drove out of business, essentially. So Image is doing their own distribution, huh? Rick Sanchez, I was happy to watch the new Superman trailer because we see him get struck with a hail of bullets from a helicopter. I wasn't so happy to see the Superdog. I like Superdog. I like Crypto. I like dogs. I think he lightens the mood when he shows up. I know he's stupid, but there's a lot of comics that are stupid. I mean, the whole movie looks like it's going to be a lot lighter. They're going for a lighter fun. If it was anybody but James Gunn writing it, I would say there's no way this is going to be good. But James Gunn has done it. So he was successful with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which had Rocket Raccoon. And if you had pitched that, I think, initially to me, I would have been like, that ain't going to work. The first Guardians is great. Ardent at Rick Sanchez. There's bad lag everywhere. There's a massive snowstorm right above where Tony is. Best choice for new Flash, Andrew Garfield. That's a good choice. Rick Sanchez. Amen at JEC. So, well, I'm glad to see Images distributing its own stuff. They should have done that years ago. Rick Sanchez, can't have Garfield for obvious reasons. You could. Money talks. All right. Marvel's Nova, lifelong fan and renowned reviewer, reacts to its rumors. Let's see. Marvel's Nova, rumored to be woke spin about police propaganda. Well, that sounds terrible. James Gunn Superman faces sky-high stakes. I think it'll be fine. I think it's a bit overhyped. That's the problem with it. Marvel unleashes Captain America Brave New World footage. Tickets on sales. Okay, here we go. I don't know, man. This just looks stupid. Falcon's an okay character. The Red Hulk is just dumb. I don't like the Red Hulk. So it's just going to be the Red Hulk and him going at it? Oh, there's Galactus in the background. Still frozen in the ice. Let's see. I can't play the music. So here's, what is this? Captain America popcorn holder? Yep. So it's like a shield and popcorn holder. This is the movie industry now. This is the movie industry. What do you have left? Do you have new movies? Did you make the theater experience better? No, none of that. Oh, what did you do? We made new popcorn holders. They're collectible and they're made of plastic. We get them from China. LeMay, wasn't the guy who built a fire-resistant community? Wasn't he the guy that built a fire-resistant community that did not burn? Trying to think who I referred to when you're responding to. Tell me who you're referring to, LeMay. Sorry. Ardent at Rick Sanchez. Because of Spider-Man doesn't apply. There's lots of actor crossover. Yeah, I mean, if Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Doctor Doom eventually, God, I mean, it's taken forever. It's going to be like another 2 years. That Park Place. Rumor. Nintendo Switch 2 price and release window reportedly revealed. Coming this summer at steep cost? I guess. World Showcase versus the Real World versus Epcot Origins. A study in culture and time by Lou Wasserman's Ghost. Holy crap. That's an opinion piece. Is Sega making a new Echo, the Dolphin game? Rumor over trademark sparked Dolphin discussion. Is that really a game worth reviving? And Sonic the Hedgehog 4 gets great news as Jim Carrey open to returning as Dr. Eggman despite 2022 retirement. Of course he's going to return. Just got to ask for a lot of money. Rick Sanchez, yeah, but crossing characters like that, save it for another Steve Strange film nobody asked for. Ardent, I'm on my mobile and now the stream is breaking. I'm getting little hearts though. Somebody's liking it with my hearts. Over at Breitbart, Donald Trump holds rally eve of inauguration. John Voight, Matt Boyle, James O'Keefe tribute, Andrew Breitbart at Patriot Awards. So, got all that. And then here's Chappelle. I watched some of his monologue. It was pretty good. Ardent, had to reload the stream on my phone. Sorry about this, everybody. I have no control over it. All they give me is a widget, and it does nothing. Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross attend pre-inauguration crypto ball. What is Rick Ross doing there? Michael Rappaport celebrates the demise of dirty, biased, damn near soft porn dump hole TikTok. I love the turn Michael Rappaport has taken. I love it. I hope he stays away from the leftist. I don't think he'll ever be a Republican, but stay away from the leftists, Michael. Zebek's demise. I was quite a bit behind after a while. Quite. Sorry. Bill Maher. There's a huge connection between California's fire risk and homelessness issue. Yeah, I would say that. At the very least, assuming it is not on purpose, which I think it is. Bill Maher calls out liberals defending Democrats who made a lot of errors before Los Angeles wildfires. Good for my ex-boss. Ardent, Tony proving New Jersey belongs in Canada, apologizing for things not his fault. No, I'm just very, very polite like a Canadian. I can't drink maple syrup more than a glass a day, Ardent. I just can't. Bruce Willis makes rare public appearance amid dementia battle to thank Los Angeles first responders. I guess that's good. He must be lucid enough to do that. Zebek's demise, South Jersey Canadian. Stephen King called for cancellation of the Oscars wearing fancy clothes while LA burns. I sort of agree with this. I mean, certainly they ought to modify the Oscars to help the people of LA. However, I think what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to do the Oscars, try to make it woke, try to help the people in LA, and try to make it fancy all at the same time, and no one will be happy. Maple syrup. No sane human stabs a tree and drinks its blood. Rapper Busta Rhymes accused of punching a man in the face in New York. I gotta say that for a rapper, that seems pretty mild. Pretty mild. Just fine him and move on. Sting, Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, the Red Hot Chili Peppers set for Los Angeles wildfire Fire Aid benefit concert. Well, that's good. That's good, right? I mean, we could at least say that's a good thing. Zebek's demise at Ardent. Nobody said French Canadians were sane. Daily Show mocks TikTok users, saying ban is the worst thing U.S. has ever done. We did slavery. Everybody did Daily Show, so please, just stop making jokes. Like, the Daily Show and so many left-wing comedians have gotten so far out of reality, they can't even make jokes anymore. It's annoying. Ardent. Ain't that the truth, Zebek? JC. Get out of the way, Busta's fist. Buddy, what are you doing? Oh, is he sing that song? Get out the way of Busta's fist, buddy. What are you doing? Jesus A. Adomo is here. Hello, Jesus. Hello there, says Jesus. Hello. You're coming in late on the stream, which we're be warned, we're having some problems with the snow here. Zebek says, hola. And Arden says, hardcore anti-whiteism on the Daily Show? They just suck. I mean, that, in my view, that's all it is. It's they're I don't think these people believe anything. They are making these turns because they think it's popular, and their bosses certainly do. I can guarantee you that. So, in order to keep their jobs, they keep doing this. And when it doesn't work, their bosses send them notes, and they look at them expecting them to say, okay, you don't have to do that anymore. And instead they say, no, you didn't do it right. You obviously didn't check your white privilege. Do it again. Do it better. And then they try it again, and it, explodes. Some of them are woke-tards, I'm sure. Arden says, buena tardes. Jesus says, saludos, people. JC, Daily Show just interviewed Trudeau's hand-picked replacement, Mark Carney, central banker who has photos of him hanging out with Ghislaine Maxwell. Jesus. But he's done, right? I mean, Trudeau's done, right? At least there's that. Rick Sanchez, coming just once this summer. Just like my wife, whose birthday is in the summer. Rick. John Voight, Matt Bola, James O'Keefe, tribute to Andrew Breitbart and Patriot Awards. Actor, CNN show host Michael Ian Black wants to effing impeach Trump before he's sworn in. That's sad, because Michael Ian Black is very talented, but he seems to be slipping further and further into TDS. For a long time, he kind of held the line at a certain point. He was kind of bad. He kind of had bad TDS, but he didn't progress further. Now he seems like he's just, but he's on CNN. I mean, although CNN seems to be changing too. CNN seems to be making a turn. So I don't know. This ain't going to save your career, Michael. So you might want to abandon that attitude. I just abandoned politics. God, if I was in comedy right now, I'd be so hard abandoning politics. Like if I was doing stand-up, I'd be abandoning those jokes. Super quick. Super quick. JC, Trudeau is out March 9th. That's my birthday. But he's probably hoping to come back in a few years like his dad did. Pierre, not Castro. I thought Castro was his dad. Ardent, Trudeau isn't gone yet. Good news, there's a court case to reverse the shutdown of Parliament. Might have legs. Rick Sanchez. as an English dude, hello, what is Trump doing ASAP? Well, being sworn in tomorrow, and then hopefully a long list of executive orders that will immediately take effect. So there's just so many of them. So what's the short list? Number one, pardoning the J6ers, or at least a great deal of them. Number two, initiating Operation Deport Everyone. He's going to, I believe they're going to do a raid on Chicago on the 20th and deport everybody they can grab their hands on, who's, not in this country illegally, and all the criminals. I assume they're going to lock down the border and tell the Border Patrol, hey, stop people now. Hey, everybody at the airports, don't let strange people from foreign countries without the proper paperwork in. So all that's going to be turned on. Pardoning Ross Ulbricht was on the top of the list. What else? Hopefully doing something about the gas situation. Possibly turning back on the spigot for the XL pipeline, although that might take a little longer. Probably doing some work on the Hamas-Israeli ceasefire and announcing some sort of trip that will discuss a Ukraine ceasefire. Making DEI illegal, and just, putting it in the category, if you use DEI, that's discriminatory, you'll be sued, it's illegal. Banning women from men's sports, banning men from women's sports, etc. So that's on the list. Jesus, am currently new on the channel and I'm interested. I'm studying screenwriting, so looking forward to the channel. Well, thank you, Jesus. I've got a bunch of screenwriting things in the channel that you could check out. Some of it's on the Rumble, Bitchute, and Odysee mirrors. Rumble and Bitchute have all my other videos. I've been on Bitchute after YouTube the longest, so it has a few extra that maybe Rumble doesn't have. But if you have a specific question, I can't get too deep in the screenwriting because we're coming up to the end of the stream, probably at 9. So, but if you'd like to ask me a question, I'd be happy to answer it now. Ardent, LOL, looking for executive order number 66, wipe out the Jedi. JEC, at Ardent, court case isn't going to go anywhere. Harper and Kretchen did the same. Rick Sanchez, ha 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 ha. No way you are being serious. Are you talking about me and the EOs? Which EO did you not like or think is not happening? He's going to sign a bunch of them because it's an optics thing with him. The idea is he signs a bunch of EOs that he can do. So optically it looks like, oh my God, he signed 100 EOs. A lot of it's just going to be reversing what Biden did. And a lot of stuff that Biden signed was either unenforceable or didn't happen, like the student loan stuff. So stuff like that. I think the, a lot of it will just be pauses on things and then awaiting further legislation and, but I assume he's going to slam the border pretty firmly shut, as shut as he could possibly do it. So the important thing is the process starts, because when it comes to illegal aliens coming here, just the fact that the spigot's about to be turned off is enough to discourage people from coming at all. A lot of people who are gearing up or were gearing up to come here either got here today or they're probably not coming at all, because it's like, well, I'm taking the risk now of going all the way to America, spending I don't know what it is, $2,000 to get across the border from some coyote because you have to pay that, because the coyotes don't just smuggle people across because of the goodness of their hearts. They own the border on the other side. No one gets across without paying them. It's more of a toll than it is a smuggling operation. So they're just not going to pay it, because what are you going to do? You're going to pay the coyotes $2,000, get across the border, and then get deported? Then you get no money. So a lot of people just won't come, but we'll see. Ardent Test, checking to see if my comic got yeeted. The one about the Jedi seems to be here. Seems to be here okay. What else happened here? Breitbart's pretty good on this stuff. Ardent? Okay, it did. What did you say this time, Ardent? LeMay, Rick J. Caruso? Oh, okay, you asked a question about Rick J. Caruso. Now I've forgotten your question. Let me go back. Wasn't he the guy who built the fire-resistant community that did not burn? Oh, maybe it was. I don't know. I know that he did apparently hire a private firm to put out the fires around his mall, but I wouldn't be surprised. Ardent, let me try it this way. T-folk to the thinking camps, women to the kitchen? Oh, no, that's not happening. The Project 2025 stuff is BS. Jesus, is there a difference writing a script and writing a comic? Yes. So I'll just answer this briefly. So with a comic, you have to script panel to panel, right? So like a comic script for me goes panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, and then maybe you get to panel 5, and then it's page 2, panel 1, panel 3, 2, panel 3. With guys that I've worked with for a long time, if I'm doing a graphic novel, I might calculate how many panels a comic is or graphic novel is going to be and let them do the page breakdowns, but, you know, whatever. Screenplays are dialogue driven. So with screenplays, you don't do panels, you do a scene slug, like interior Tony DiGerolamo's office. It's a big mess, and you have a brief description. It's a big mess. He's talking to a computer. He's got his dog in the background, and he's doing a live stream. And then dialogue. And then you keep doing that dialogue until the scene changes. Dialogue is the most important thing in a screenplay. And with writing a comic, dialogue is important, but it has to be balanced with the visuals. So you can't put in a giant monologue because the word balloon will be too big and it'll cover up the visuals. Or you have to make it so you either break up some of the dialogue a little bit so the visuals can breathe, or you have to make it a giant splash page or a double splash or whatever. So it's a balance between visuals and dialogue in a comic that's very apparent. But with a screenplay, you are just writing the dialogue, and the director and the cinematographer, they're going to be in charge of how the visuals roll out. Mostly. You can put in some input, but mostly it's them. So it's more of a team effort, whereas as a writer of a comic, you're almost the director. You're kind of going to be the director with the artist, or he'll direct it. You probably don't want that. You probably want to like work together. Ardent, Project 2025 will reduce lycanthropy in sea otters. I heard. Jesus. That's interesting. Thank you. Yes. Project 2025. That was such a great gag when people were talking about how, Trump's been nominated. Now Project 2025 can go forward. And they were just making up a bunch of stuff that were in Project 2025. And then the left idiots on X and Twitter were like freaking out. See, it's real. It was really funny. It's really funny. Oh, here's a review of Wolfman. Wolfman 2025 review. Nothing more than a few jump scares. Ah, that's sad. All right. Well, I kind of believe John Nolte. He's pretty on point with a lot of his takes. So I would definitely cross Wolfman off my list to go see it in the theaters. Let's see. Bill Maher, again, I joked about it, but Trump had a point about California's vegetation management. Yes. It's a weird way to put it, but yes. Ardent. LOL, I had so much fun with the Project 2025 meme. JEC, Project 2025 pisses me off. Look up Project 2030, dummies. Shut up. Ardent, any relation to Nick Nolte? I don't think so. No. But this vegetation management thing, I worked for a guy in the California Wildlife Management, and I wrote scripts for these short videos they produced to tell private individuals how to clean up the vegetation on their property. So I had to research about doing that and the situation in California, and I had to ask him a bunch of questions. And one of the first conclusions I had was, hey, why don't you just do what New Jersey does? We do this thing called controlled burns, where we burn off all the vegetation. And then he told me the deal, which was, oh, we can't do that anymore because California made it illegal several years ago. And so we're not allowed to do that. So all the vegetation has to be removed from the forest by hand. And of course, we don't have enough people to do that. And that's why California burns to a cinder every couple of years. So I was ahead on this issue. Do back burning, California, you morons. Ardent at JEC, you're thinking about Agenda 2030, which is dark as hell. It truly is. Zevix Demise, I was wondering the same thing at Ardent. Alex, reset my stream. Okay, Tony, you taskmaster. We'll drop the surprise pizza twist, but I'll insist on extra wet t-shirt shower scenes where Sweeney's auger character presages the Trump presidency. You drive a hard bargain, Alex, but I'll allow it. Okay, let's see a draft on Tuesday. Rick Sanchez, Tony, mod me so I can send you a link to something I produced. It's just a quick flick. You'll like it. Okay. Jeez. If I mod you, are you going to screw me? Don't screw at me, Rick Sanchez. If I mod you, be nice. All right. I don't know how to do that quickly. I forgot how to do it now. Shoot. Oh, wait. I can add you as moderator. Okay. Standard moderator for you. There you go. Now you can post something. Don't screw me. Oh, Kite is here. Hi, Kite. Better to have a cinder to keep people poor and voting Democrat for free stuff. All right. Thank you, Kite. Thank you. Oh, look at it. Member for 16 months he's been. He's a Piney. He's a Piney. All right, here is Rick's YouTube video. Is there music on this? I don't know if I can play it or not. I'll put the sound off. It's called Tripka Media Presents The Lonely. All right. So a little film you're doing here, Rick Sanchez? Oh, all right. We'll check it out. I don't want to play the sound because I don't know what YouTube will do. The Lonely. Only the lonely. All right. Good luck with that, Rick Sanchez. Ardent. Tommy Wasu voice. Oh, hi, Lex. At Alex Ogle. Alex Ogle at Ardent. Hail. So there's Rick's link if you want to see his film there. Rick says thanks. It's a 10-minute flick, says Ardent. Rick, you can turn me back to normal now. It's fine. It's fine. Just keep your nose clean. Daily Show mocks TikTok users. Let's see. Was there anything else? Any juicy headlines? British actress Joan Plowright, widow of Laurence Olivier, dies at 95. Well, that's a good run. That's a pretty good run. 95, man, that's almost triple digits there. Oh, and here was a story. I'm glad I remembered this. So, this is burning down the other half of Hollywood. So, Justin Baldoni, I'll just recap this briefly. Rick Sanchez, there's no copyright sound. Oh, okay. Kite, there's no other reason for collie prices to be so high, yet risk people's lives with subpar fire prevention when it happens so often. I agree. Indie Phantom, I mock the Daily Show. We all do now. It's so weird. Like, there's so many things that I used to watch, and now I look back and I am embarrassed to say I watched it. The Daily Show, Stephen Colbert, he used to be great. MSNBC, especially Keith Olbermann, so embarrassed. So embarrassed. Ardent at Kite, LOL, and then listen to the plebs bitch when the rich pay for private fire crews. Indie Phantom, yeah, this is turning into Amber Heard 2.0. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, at this point, now it seems Justin Baldoni might have a chance to win this. I don't think he can, because I gotta think Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have so much money with their recent hits. There's no way he can beat them in a lawsuit. Like, unless they did something really, really stupid behind the scenes to sabotage his career that he has proof of. Now, he's trying to say that the character in Deadpool and Wolverine, Nice Pool, is based on him, and to which I say, so what? Ryan Reynolds is a comedic actor and has written comedy bits, so what does that prove? Okay, it's you. So what? He doesn't like you. He made fun of you in a movie. How are you gonna get money from that? However, Blake Lively's character in the Deadpool movie does kill Nice Pool. And there's a lot of symbolism that indicates, yeah, it's him. But again, so what? She didn't like him either, apparently. But I talked about this with one of my film buddies. Maybe this is a move by bigger forces within Hollywood to push Justin Baldoni out of the business of turning Colleen Hoover's books into hit movies. Because there's a lot of money in that. Like, a lot of money. You don't understand how popular this book series is, and this woman's, like, Baldoni got the rights or licensed them early enough before she hit it big, I think. And so this could be a power play by Reynolds or an associate of Reynolds and Lively to push him out of the picture so they could gobble up the rights and make the movies themselves. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he did do something bad to her. I don't know. Indie Phantom, yeah, look at how SNL went so cringe. Used to stay up for it in the 80s. I know. I used to watch that. I watched the original SNL. It was amazing, and now it's sad. Rick Sanchez, Mel Gibson knew one of his homes was burning down. There's footage of him telling Russell Brand while laughing. How many houses does he have? Zebek's Demise. I like Colbert on The Daily Show, but couldn't stand any of those people after Obama got elected. Yeah, they really started pulling their comedy punches. I could tell. They didn't go after him like they did with Bush. Now, to some extent, I understood that, but after a while, it was like, you guys need to push Obama. But they didn't. Indie Phantom. Wasn't the movie with Justin and Blake a rom-com? It wasn't a rom-com. It's like a romance. It's more of a romance movie. It's not meant to be funny. It's more serious because it has to do with I think the female character gets abused in some way. I don't think by his character, but possibly. I don't remember. Indie Phantom. They waited until it hit profit, then floodgates open. Possibly. But it's still an odd move because this movie was well received. You could call it a hit. And there's a second book with, I think, both these characters. And other books that with completely different characters. But there was, I think, definitely a sequel in the queue here. And they could have made, I don't know, Blake Lively could have demanded all kinds of crazy money. And he would have had to probably agree to drive the money truck to her house at least and give her a big raise. So why wouldn't she want that? Like, I don't think this power play is going to work. I think it's just going to ruin the book series for everybody, quite frankly. And I feel bad for Colleen Hoover, who's kind of caught in the middle of this, because there ain't no reason for Baldani to get rid of the rights until somebody comes along and says, "Well, you're deep in debt, dude. Here's $100 million for the rights," and then the studio will run it, and maybe Ryan Reynolds will be back on it and Blake Lively, but who knows? By that time, Blake Lively may be too old for the role. So, I don't know. Rick Sanchez, the substance with Demi Moore has just about the right amount of nudism. Her younger self is played by Andy McDowell's daughter. Is that who that is? Ah, Margaret Qualley is Andy McDowell's daughter? Is there a book on Hollywood nepotism? All the books about Hollywood are basically about Hollywood nepotism, but you read my book, Hollywoke, another novel, if you want. I think there's nepotism in that one somewhere. Oh, yeah, there's the producer character. Yeah, he's like a lot of people I met in L.A. Indie Phantom. Remember all the S that went down with Don't Worry, Darling movie? The woman get caught up in off-screen drama. I don't remember the drama. I just remember, I still haven't seen that movie. I kind of wanted to see that. Indie Phantom. Yeah, Quali is Nepo. They all are. Pretty much. I mean, there's so much money in it. And, for young women who are beautiful, I mean, you can't not do it, I would say. How could you not do it? It's a perfect job for some hot chick in her 20s. The amount of attention you're going to get and money. It's not like doing OnlyFans. You're not doing something tawdry and it's going to ruin you. So being an actress, unless you really, really suck at being an actress, holy cow, what a great gig for a hot young thing. Because when you're hot and young, man, it just puts you right in. Because they need hot young women. They need them. Even now, they need them. And, you only got about a 20-year run. And if you make your bones and maybe find an angle for yourself, you could extend that quite a bit. But Rick Sanchez, nice body, though. Indie Phantom, Jake Gyllenhaal is the nephew of Paul Newman. I think I knew that. Indie Phantom, Quali is hot, yeah. Rick Sanchez, Jake Gyllenhaal is a terrible actor. I liked him in the Spider-Man movie. I thought he was good in that. I liked him in that, what was it called, Night Stalker? He's weird in that. Problem with that movie, though, he's too handsome for the role. He just, but he's all right in that. He's all right in that weird time travel movie on the train. He's okay. I mean, I've seen worse. He, you know what he's good in? I saw him in that Covenant movie, I think it's called. Jesus. I like him in Prince of Persia. Really? Is that a good movie? That looked terrible. Indie Phantom. They ugly up some hotties. Indie Phantom Nightcrawler. That's the name of it. JC, Nightcrawler is good. Yeah, he's good in it. But it's weird. He's playing, though, a guy who shouldn't look like him. Right? Like, his character should have been played by like who's that actor? The actor who played Fredo in the Godfather. I can't think of his name. Like he would have been perfect for it back in the 70s. Jesus. Well, I enjoyed it. I'm not making fun of you, but I heard it was terrible. But who knows? Maybe it's good. I didn't see it. I did not see it. Indie Phantom. Oh yeah, the train movie, like a time jumping thing. Yeah, something like that. I think I saw it. I at least saw part of it. Indie Phantom. Remember the ads? Yeah. William Wallace is here. Donnie Darko was a good flick. Hey, Tony D. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about Donnie Darko. It's okay-ish. It's not great. I don't like movies where I have to like figure out what the F is going on. Jesus, that's fine, mate. Donnie Darko is one of those movies. It's like I had to look up on the internet what actually happened because I didn't quite understand it. And I'm like, what the F happened? And then I read it and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't like movies like that. I want to know what happened while I watch the movie. Like, if you made it so hard to parse, I couldn't figure it out while I was watching it. I think it kind of failed, or maybe I'm stupid. Ardent. Prince of Persia was mid. Darko was odd. William Wallace. LOL. Indie Phantom. Donnie Darko is hit and miss. Director tanked with his next flick, Southland Tales. Oh, right, yeah. Rick Sanchez. Fredo Corleone. John Cazzelli. Yeah, LOL. Yeah, he would have been perfect for the Nightcrawler role. God, and he would have killed it, too. Back in the 70s, God, that guy was talented. He died way too soon. LeMay, I like Donnie Darko. Time-traveling movies can be confusing. As you all know, I love me some time travel movies. I can't get enough of them. The only thing I like more than a time travel movie is a zombie movie, but time travel is a close second. And I have watched some terrible, terrible time travel movies. I'm basically on a quest to find a movie that does time travel correctly, and it's very hard to find. The comedy ones work pretty well for the most part. I guess my favorite is probably Time After Time with Roddy McDowall. That movie is so good. I love it. I mean, Back to the Future is pretty good, but yeah, and that's a time travel movie. It's like, that one's good. I like that one. JC, Donnie Darko seems deep, but then you watch the director's follow-up, Southland Tales, and you realize it was all nonsense. Zebek's Demise, I don't remember Darko too well at this point. Liked it at the time. Indie Phantom, Time Crimes is a sweet time travel flick. Maybe the best. Time Crimes. Did I see that one? I remember the title. What was that one? Time Crimes. One of my favorites is Time Cop. I don't know if you ever saw that. With Jean-Claude Van Damme. Here it is. Los Cronos Criminales. A man accidentally gets into a time machine and travels back to a time nearly an hour. Finding himself will be the first series of disasters for unseeable consequences. Oh, weird. I wrote a short story that was much like that. Huh. I might have to see this. Interesting. Looks cool. Ardent, read. Time travel. Have you seen Tenet? No, I kind of want to see it, but then I kind of like, maybe I shouldn't see it because I hear it's terrible and it doesn't quite work. I tried to watch it not too long ago, but I just couldn't. Rick Sanchez, I like watching with Nail and I on Sunday with a big breakfast and a hangover. Indie Phantom. It is a Spanish flick, I think. Yeah, it seems to be Spanish. I vaguely remember this. Zebek's Demise. Time Bandits. Oh, yeah, that's another classic. I was so furious when they did that remake with Lisa Kudrow. that TV series. God, that just killed it for me. I will never watch Taika Waititi's stuff again. For him to remake that, it was like a betrayal to me. Time Bandits is one of the great classics. I love Time Bandits. It's so much fun. But it's more comedy than it is time travel, I think. But Ardent, Time Cop was good. They had a good shared time danger mechanic. I like the Slipstream with Mark Hamill, time traveling bounty hunter. Really? Hamill was chonky, bulky in it. Huh. I remember Time Rider. I don't remember Time or Slipstream. I don't think. That must have been a while ago. Indie Phantom. Tenet was the ultimate. I don't know what is happening and don't care. Rick Sanchez with Nail and I. Indie Phantom. F. Tiki Watiti. Rick Sanchez. Richard E. Grant. I gotta check out this thing though, the Time Crimes thing. I remember when this came out. Yeah, so time travel stuff, but it's so hard to get right. It's so easy to just go sideways and you go, what the hell, man. A lot of times it's just used by film producers to just create like a lazy reason for a character to kill themselves or justify something that you shouldn't have done, and or you know, it just doesn't work a lot of times. Ardent, Slipstream was a B movie from early 90s or late 80s. Indie Phantom. Oh yeah, Time Rider. Think it was Fred Ward. Yeah, that was pretty decent. Rick Sanchez. Was that the one with John Cleese in it? Time Crime? No, that's Time Bandits. He plays Robin Hood in that. I'm Hood. He's very funny. Ardent, I did like the way Avengers Endgame talked about time travel, but the execution was retarded. Jesus, I remember the Unusual Suspect talking about Slipstream in his video about Mark Hamill. Ardent, Fred Ward was awesome as Remo Williams. Everybody loves him as Remo Williams. There is a franchise. I think they're bringing it back. They never did it after the first one, which was a shame. And now they're talking about starting over and doing it again. Another franchise they could do, and this time do it correctly, would be Buckaroo Banzai, which is a bit of a cult classic, but it wasn't quite what the books were and was meant to be more of a franchise kind of thing. I don't know if they're ever going to do them, though. But they would be on the top of my list to revive, because even though they did one of the movies and they had some success with them, there was more material there, and they revive all these old franchises and these old movies anyway. There's enough of an audience to bring it back. I mean, if there's an audience for some of the other movies they brought back, certainly there's some audience here for those two movies. And you could do them the way the books rolled them out and do them as a franchise. At the very least, I don't know, do them as a TV series or something. William Wallace loved Terminator 1 and 2 before Arnold went all, screw your freedom. Yeah, that was very, very disheartening. I find myself unable to forgive him for saying that. Every time I see Arnold now, I think of that quote, and I just get totally pissed off at him. Indie Phantom. Yes, Slipstream had a cult following. Zevek's Demise. How about the Pirates? Or Ice Pirates? Isn't that a time travel movie? Boy, it's been so long since I saw it. I don't know. The execution of that one was pretty stupid. I don't think that one did well. I remember seeing that. I saw it advertised in the movie theaters, and like a week later it was on HBO or something. But maybe. Ardent. I doubt they could capture the humor of the movie or the books in the new Destroyer series. I mean, if they... Again, it's just about hiring the right people. The problem is there's no decent writing talent, with a very, very few exceptions. And there's definitely not a lot of comedy talent. There's almost no comedy guys. You got the guys in Adam Sandler's camp, maybe. You got Evan Goldberg, who's Seth Rogen's guy, who's, I don't know, maybe still kind of funny. You still have enough comedians around. You got Ryan Reynolds' camp, but not a lot outside of that. And they haven't developed them. They just aren't developing these guys. There's no indie comedies coming out. They're not encouraging it, and they should be. It's going to take a while for that to happen. Indie Phantom. I did not like Remo Williams. Very slow but funny seeing Joel Grey as the old Asian dude. Rick Sanchez. Remember yesterday when Sleepy Joe went to bed and we all woke up and Donald Trump was the president? Ah, yes. Arden. Indie Phantom. You should read the books. Indie Phantom makes me want to watch the Peter Sellers Fu Manchu movie that everyone hated. I remember that movie. That was fun. He's funny in it. William Wallace. Same here. Boycotting all the asshats at this point. More time to read some Piney classics. Thank you, William Wallace. I just finished the draft of book 17, by the way. Indie Phantom. Yeah, Arden, I would probably love those old Destroyer books. Arden at Indie Phantom. The ones written by the original authors, the earliest ones before the ghostwriting started, used to have me laugh out loud occasionally. Yeah, I mean, you got to go back to the original guy. You got to go back to the original guy in your book series. When they're up to Pineys 517 and the third author, well, 517 was okay, but you got to read the originals. Some of my relatives will keep it going. I don't know. Yeah. All right, it's 9:30, and I got to go outside and shovel. And I think the snow has finally stopped. So I got to wrap up here a little early. Just a quick note for those of you who missed last week's stream, if you want to see it, I attempted to do a little editing on the YouTube stream, and I effed it up, and most of the stream disappeared. I still have a copy of it. I may re-upload it to YouTube just for the hell of it. But you can catch the entire stream from last week on my Bitchute, Rumble, and Odysee channels. They are definitely up there. Ardent, LOL, Pineys number 42,069, ghostwritten by Eric Van Lustbader. Ardent, later, Tony, have fun. Remember to stretch first. Absolutely. Jesus, that's fine. Zebek's demise, don't lose Joan in the snow. Yes, I don't take Joan out in the snow anymore. I took her out for a walk a few days ago when it snowed, and part way through, she just put up her paws like, I can't feel my paw anymore, and I had to carry her home. So no more snow for Joan. Indie Phantom later at all. Have a good week. Have a good week, everybody. What did we learn this week? Well, we learned about time travel movies just recently. We learned the box office is blah. We learned there's probably nothing good out, and that The Brutalist is a brutal movie at 3.5 hours. Jesus, it was a pleasure. Looking forward to your wisdom, sir. Or your videos, sir. Sorry. Look at me. Yes, thank you, Jesus. Feel free to watch them. I hope you'll tune in next week. Ardent, she's too tiny for the snow. Exactly. LeMay, good night and stay warm. I will. Ardent, get real dog. St. Bernard. Oh my God, in my house? We'll be knocking over furniture. Indie Phantom, happy inauguration. Yes, happy inauguration to all of us. Good MAGA to all of you. Because I'm going to go watch some inauguration stuff when I return from outside. And I have to dig out my car and put out my trash cans. It's that night. Ardent, LOL. And what else do I have to do? I have to make more videos. I haven't made any of my videos today yet. Got up super late. Zebek, we learned no one remembers Ice Pirates. Yeah, I remember it. I remember watching it, and about 20 minutes in, I went, and I stopped watching. Oh, and don't forget to check out Rick Sanchez's short film. Jesus, and your wisdom too. LOL, take care. Rick Sanchez, thanks everyone. I learned to remind my owner it's time to quit for tonight. Your owner? Ardent at Zebix. I remember it vaguely. Indie Phantom, Kid Rock time. I don't remember the words. Ardent, I remember Krull better and Krull the Conqueror. Indie Phantom, still need to watch Krull. Hear good things. Man, it's been so long. I think I saw at least part of Krull. You like how I watch half of a movie? Those movies got to me when they were on like HBO and my parents had it for a brief window of time. So I might have started watching it and then my mother was like, we're eating dinner. Watch the rest of that later. I can't. How am I going to watch it later? We don't have a machine to record it, Ma. Or you're being stupid. Well, you'll just have to wait until it comes on again. We're eating dinner and you can't have TV on with dinner. And I'd just be like, okay. And then I'd never catch it again. Ardent, done. Go shovel and say hi to the women for us, weirdos. Ball but the ball as an awesome early Kid Rock song. Ardent, okay, now I'm done. As am I. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Time to get a VCR, mate. Zebix, Krull the Conqueror.